Good morning, gentlemen, and what a grand morning it is, too. We have just cause for celebration. Galloway and Phelps are sending another fiend to San Quentin. A nice showy trial, and he'll be strapped down with gas seeping into his tiny reptile brain. Now, the fresh business. Galloway and Phelps, the task is at hand. The address is on the hill, north downtown off Fremont Avenue.
Skipper, is the new letter genuine?
Now, boys, we all know how many imbeciles have confessed in the short case. Ray Pinker will let us know in good time.
A fine morning indeed. We keep locking them up, but the bodies keep piling up.
Californians love a fad, Phelps. As long as the bricks hold up at San Quentin, there'll always be killers in this town to send.
Another letter. And yet, the captain refuses to believe that we're not actually catching the murderers.
I'm telling you, greetings from sunny California. When's it going to stop? First a letter, and now another body. Come on, you can't keep on telling me there's not a killer still out there.
You know, Phelps, all these arrests on the record give them a reputation. You don't want them turning into unsolved.
Getting a vicious killer off the streets is more important than my reputation.
Really?
And besides, landing a big fat marlin is more impressive than an ocean full of minnows.
The minnows maketh the man, Phelps. You can't always hit home runs. Sometimes you just gotta make those plays. That guy there will lead us up.
I'm steeling myself for what I'm about to see.
That'll just be another dead body, partner. We're used to seeing them. You're the gig when we're working homicides, Phelps.
And it's like Rusty is numb to it. How many murdered women and men has he seen while working the homicide desk? I think he likes to pretend that it doesn't affect him. But seeing this many bodies and these many murders has to have some effect.
Detectives?
Phelps and Galloway, homicide.
Scene is secure. The rest of the patrolmen are going door to door, canvassing for witnesses.
Thanks. Keep me informed.
Will do, Detective.
This looks awfully familiar.
I think that's the impression the boys from the Examiner took with them as well.
There's nothing original under the sun. Why should murder be any different?
What do we have so far?
Not much trace evidence to speak of. Storm blew in around 10 last night, and the rain washed most of it away.
And the body?
Looks like she was tipped out of an automobile from the tire tracks and superficial injuries. Strangled with a length of rope. And for my money, it's triple braid again.
Time of death?
From her temperature, maybe 2 a.m., but it was cold last night.
Usual head injuries.
Blunt force trauma. Knock him over the head, then strangle and mutilate. No message with this one.
At least she was left clothed.
I doubt very much he was concerned with her dignity.
The green silk dress is very distinctive. Any sign of her other shoe?
No. And no handbag or other personal effects.
Another woman dead. So nobody but the captain and Rusty are believing that these similar cases are just that. Men who believe that they can get away with murder if they just copy the Black Dahlia murder. Let's check her neck.
There appears to be a dry cleaning label. Superior Laundry Services, F1363.
This gives us something to go on. We'll have to call R&I. And look around. What's different about this crime scene? It's the shoe prints. In all the 3 murders that we have investigated, there has been shoe prints. Like the killer was analyzing his work, thinking about what he could have done better. But again, like in the Maldonado case, there's not that much blood pooled around the body. And Carruthers just said that she looks like she's been tipped here. So this killer had to have killed Mrs. Henry, Mrs. Moeller, at the site of which they were left. But with Mrs. Maldonado and this poor woman, he's killing them somewhere else and leaving their body here. Let's check her left hand. No ring. Let's check her right hand. No ring. No watch. No bracelet. We check her chest. It looks like this killer inflicted more pain than what we can see. The worst of her wounds is probably underneath her dress. Let's check the crime scene for other clues.
No drag marks. The killer was moving around, surveying the scene.
Only footprints on the right side of the body. The left side doesn't have any marks. Let's check evidence marker C.
Our driver and our killer are most likely one and the same.
Let's call R&I.
Detectives, I've been working the houses across the street and up the block. This lady thinks she has something for us.
Detective Phelps, LAPD.
I'm Mrs. Barton, Catherine Barton. I live just across the way.
Let's ask Mrs. Barton if she saw any suspicious people.
Did you see anyone around here last night?
Not last night, but yesterday, early evening, I saw that awful hobo.
She's holding herself because it's raining and cold. She's not shifting from side to side. I think she's being honest. So let's play good cop.
Do you have a description?
Tall, gaunt, horribly disfigured. I think he may have had an accident in the war. He's a very scary, angry man.
Any idea where we might find him?
One of the hobo camps around here. He's some kind of hobo leader. They all follow him around.
Thank you, ma'am. You've been a big help.
Of course. Anything I can do to help. I'd hate to think that something so ghastly could happen right here and nothing be done about it.
Phelps, 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
I need an address on Superior Laundry Services.
Just a moment. Superior Laundry Services, 1260 West 1st Street.
Can you track down reports of hobo camps in the vicinity of Signal Hill?
Just a moment, Detective. There's a large camp under the bridge on Grand between Temple and Sunset.
Thanks, ma'am.
Let's head to Superior Laundry Services.
No message.
Excuse me?
There was no message.
Where?
On the Vic. The last bodies had something written on it. This one didn't.
I'm failing to follow you.
Can't be the same guy is what I'm saying, right? Before you start trying to link this to Maldonado and all the others.
There are more factors to consider than the messages, Rusty.
This doesn't fit your pattern, Cole. End of conversation. Understand?
But just because there was no message doesn't mean this isn't the same killer. He is sending letters to the police station. So why would he need to leave a message anymore? He has our attention. We arrive at Superior Laundry Services.
At least the rain stopped. You can change back into those white bucks now.
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD. We're investigating a case, and one of your laundry labels came up. F1363.
If you give me a minute, I'll go find a register and you can take a look. You take a look for yourself. I've got clothes that need pressing.
You wrote the number down on that dress, is it there?
He got better things to do, so let's open up this ledger. We don't really need to remember the number, we just need to look for a green dress. Here it is.
Mrs. T. Terrellson, 43 Emerald Street, Westlake.
Let's head over to 43rd Emerald Street.
I've got a feeling we're about to meet another wife killer.
You've always got that feeling, Rusty.
Yeah, and it's usually correct.
Please, please, for once, can you not let your assumptions color your detective work?
Just you wait. Nordic types show a particular disposition for this stuff.
But we arrive at 43 Emerald Street. Let's go and knock on the door.
Hello? Yes?
Detectives Phelps and Galloway. Is your wife home, sir?
My wife went out last night and she hasn't come home.
Can you describe your wife and what she was wearing?
We were out at a friend's place, Bobby Ross's, for a party. She was kind of dolled up. She had her green silk dress, open-toed white shoes. Those are her favorite shoes.
Can we come in, Mr. Terrellson? I'm afraid we have some rather bad news. Do you have someone who can look after your children, Mr. Terrellson?
I've been trying to arrange a sitter. Look, tell me what's happened.
I'm afraid your wife was murdered last night. Her body was found this morning. We're very sorry for your loss. I know this is a difficult time, Mr. Terrellson, but we are going to need you to answer some questions. First, we're going to take a look around.
What for? You don't think
It's
that...
procedure. You see to your girls.
Stay here till Daddy's finished talking to these men.
Where's Mommy?
Everything's gonna be all right, sweetheart.
We would like Mommy to come home now, Daddy.
What's the problem, Terrellson? Let him search. You got nothing to hide. You want to hear something funny, Terrellson? Some bums think filling out a missing persons report actually rules them out as a suspect.
Again, another husband whose reaction to his wife's murder appears genuine. Let's search the dresser.
To check if she was a regular.
Baron's Bar, 114 North Beaudry Ave, downtown LA. And Next to it is a picture frame turned down.
I wonder why the picture was turned down.
This appears to act as her vanity and dresser. Maybe they got into a fight before she got dressed to go out of the house. While she was finished getting ready, she couldn't stand to look at the picture and she turned it down. Let's check the dining room table.
If you'd excuse me, ladies. Doesn't give me anything to go on.
Now, let's check the mudroom in the back. And there's something on the counter. A purse.
So she went out without her handbag? At least she was spared that particular indignity.
Let's look at her license.
She'd have to be in quite a state to leave this behind.
So what happened before she left the house? We'll just have to ask her husband about it. Let's close the purse and put it back. And take a look at the shoes on the ground.
We could see if Pinker can match the impression to the crime scene.
This doesn't look good for Mr. T. Then as we're about to walk out the door, we find a coat hanging up on the doorknob.
Lars was out in the rain last night.
But let's go outside and see what Rusty was looking at. Is that Rusty? Oh, it's not Rusty. Let's look at the rope on the boat.
Looks like a match with the ligature marks.
Yes, it looks like a match, but what if this was tampered with? It's out in the open, there's no gate. Why would the killer come back to the victim's house to grab something to kill her with? Unless he was trying to frame somebody. Let's call R&I before we talk to Mr. Townsend.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Cole Phelps, badge 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Can you run an address for a Bobby Ross? Then send some uniforms over.
Would you like him picked up?
No. Suspect says he was with Ross last night. We need to confirm the alibi.
I'll get a prowl car dispatched.
Thank you.
And now let's talk to Mr. Townsend. I don't even know if I'm saying his name correctly. Sorry to this man.
For the record, Mr. Terrellson, what is your wife's name?
Teresa.
Let's ask Lars Terrellson if he can think of anyone who would want to do this to his wife.
Do you have any idea why anyone would want to hurt your wife?
No. Everyone loved Teresa. She was so full of life. It can't be anyone who knew her.
And the way he delivered it, it's like he was holding something back.
Everyone loved Teresa. She was so full of life.
He looks torn up, but I can't get the feel. The way he hurried up to finish his answer leads me to believe something's off.
I think you're lying, Lars. I think you were mad at your wife for embarrassing you in front of your friends. I think you came back here and strangled her and then dumped her body on the hill.
You think I strangled my wife? How do you expect to prove that?
And this is one of the weird questions in LA Noire where you're not necessarily accusing Lars of lying during his initial answer, but you're accusing him of lying during his rebuttal to you accusing him. And we know that the rope on the boat outside looks almost exactly like the ligature marks on Teresa's neck.
Your wife was strangled with triple braid rope. The bow line from your boat is a perfect match.
Look, I know this looks bad. I'm gonna have to come to terms with the fact that I let her go.
Let's ask him more about his alibi for last night.
You said you went to a party at Bobby Ross's place?
That's right, Bobby had a bunch of people over. We were having a good time. She said she was bored and decided to leave.
Something doesn't sit right with this one. He looks mad, almost. Aggravated. But we know that something must have happened. Maybe she left her purse because they were just going to a friend's house. But what about the picture turned over? I don't believe him. There's more to the story, but we don't have evidence to accuse him. So, bad cop it is.
You let your drunk wife leave the party and go off on her own?
Look, I was angry. I was having a good time. She has to go and ruin it. We always have to do what she wants to do. Last night she wanted to go dancing.
Any idea where?
Where she always goes. A bar down on North Beaudry Avenue. Baron's Bar. She goes there, drinks too much, gets maudlin, and calls me. I go and bring her home.
Now let's ask more about what kind of emotional state Mrs. Terrelson was in.
Mr. Terrelson, was Teresa happy at home?
Yeah, I think she was.
But we know from the overturned picture that things weren't happy. And Mr. Terrelson cannot look Cole in the eyes for too long. He's looking up, he's looking to the side, he's coming back to look at Cole. His lips are going into a thin line, a thinner line than they already are in. Let's play bad cop.
Spill it, Terrelson. We like the look of you for this, so you better give us something.
We're at the party. She has a few and says she wants to go out dancing. We only have the sitter until 9. I get mad. I tell her to go ahead, but I'm staying. She storms out. Look, I'm doing well at cards. I hardly ever do well. I married her because she was so much fun, but now she drives me fucking crazy.
What time did she leave the party?
About 8:30, maybe a little earlier.
Now let's ask him about the last time he had contact with his wife.
When was the last time you saw your wife?
Around 8:30. The card game at Bobby's was wrapping up. I played out my hand and drove home here. I paid the sitter and went to bed.
But that's a lie. We know from the muddy boots and the wet jacket that he was outside this morning. So we are going to accuse Mr. Terrelson.
You're lying, Lars. You didn't come straight home, did you?
And how do you figure that?
And we'll either use the muddy boots or the wet jacket. In my case, I'm going to use the wet jacket.
You were out in the rain. You got soaked, Lars. We found your wet weather gear.
Okay, I stayed a little later than I said. This cute little brunette was hitting on me. Teresa noticed. I was half cut. I walked her home from Bobby's, but nothing happened. I walked back and got the car this morning.
Thanks for answering our questions, Mr. Terrelson. You'll need to go downtown to identify your wife's body.
I should have taken her dancing.
In my experience, Mac, if you give in to broads, you'll be giving in to them your entire life.
Shut up, Rusty.
Sounds like the Terrelson broad had her last drink at Baron's Bar. We should check the place out.
Appreciate your time, sir.
You believe this guy's story?
Kind of rings true.
And we arrive at Baron's Bar at 1:02 p.m. If for my friends overseas, that's 13:02. Let's walk in.
Did
Gents, drink?
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD.
I'm Benny Clough. This about Teresa Terrellson?
Yes, it is.
I heard about it on the radio. They're saying it was that Black Dahlia freak again? God damn it. Yeah, I rang that husband of hers. The babysitter said he was out.
If you don't mind, we have a few questions.
Let's ask him about the last time he was in contact with Teresa Terrellson.
What time did Teresa leave?
Around 10:30, I think.
He's looking us straight in the eye. He seems pretty serious, but he just heard about a patron's death. He's shifting from side to side, but that's probably because he's been standing for long, so let's do good cop.
On foot? In a car? By bus? How was it?
She called for a cab.
Did you get the number?
Sure I did. I like Teresa. The only time she has a drink is when things aren't going so good at home. I was worried about her.
I can't decide between the tuna fish and the chicken.
That's quite a decision.
Put out an APB on the cab. 3591. Should be traceable.
Let's ask him about this homeless male suspect that we heard from our first witness in this case.
Who was she with? We've had reports about a tall, gaunt-looking hobo. He wasn't here last night?
I get plenty of bums in here, but nothing to fit that description.
And how he delivered that line. He was using his hands, scratching the back of his head. He can't keep his eyes on Cole. One eyebrow keeps raising. He's looking to the side like he's in thought. He's not telling us everything, but we don't have proof to accuse him. So you know which cop we're gonna play.
The likelihood is that whoever she left here with killed her. Give it up, Benny.
All right, two creeps were all over her, promising to take her dancing.
You get a good look at these guys?
Sure. I got a good look. One of them was a sailor in uniform. His cap said, USS Indiana.
And the other man?
The other guy is Richard Bates. He's sitting in the back right now. Red polo shirt.
Let's ask him more about this yellow cab he saw Teresa get into.
Any idea where she was headed?
Nope. I didn't get that.
And maybe this guy just, when he's answering questions, he just gets like spontaneous itches around his body. But he's looking us straight in the eye. He's not looking away. He's shifting from side to side, but again, he's a bartender and he's standing. So, you know which cop it is. You know which cop.
The husband said she wanted to go dancing.
And she always wants to dance when she's been drinking. She was trying to talk some guys into taking her to one of the dance halls.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Clough. We'll take it from here.
Hey, no problem.
This is Bates.
That's him.
LAPD, don't make me chase you, shitbird. Can't let the son of a bitch get away. Go, Phelps, get after it. There he is. Come on, got a rod.
Get in the car before I leave you.
I thought you were gonna leave me there.
Who knows what this guy will pull when he's cornered? We could have a killer on our hands. I don't think the killer would be kicking back in the bar where he met the Vic in.
Listen, a creature of habit is your killer. For some reason, they're sticklers for routine. Phelps, you gotta get me closer. Hit it. Clean this asshole off the road. Keep it steady and I'll try to bust his tires. Hit him, Cole. Spin him out. All right, you got me. I've had enough. Show me your hands.
Okay, Bates. You're gonna answer some questions.
I have a choice in this.
No. Let's ask him the last time he saw Mrs. Tarleton.
Last night, you went drinking with a lady in the bar. Now she's dead, and your face is all messed up.
I'm in the clear on that. She preferred a sailor. You could lay it off on him. Are we finished?
And considering that he, ran from the police, and considering how he kind of looks angry, like a score was taken from him, he's telling the truth, but he can't keep his eyes on Cole, and he's looking away, he's pursing his lips. So I gotta say that he's leaving something out. So let's do bad cop.
Do you want my partner to sap you? Tell us what we want to know.
She was okay. Drunk. Pissed off at her old man, wanting to go dancing. I thought I'd ply her with a few drinks and get my end away. Looks like your Salty had the same idea.
Real charming. And where did Rusty get a bat? Let's ask him about what was he doing last night.
So what happened when you left the bar?
Sailor Boy laid one on me. A cheap shot. After that, I don't know.
And he's again with the same face, looking off to the side. So again, he's not telling us everything. So we have to play bad cop.
You've done time, haven't you, Richard? Is that why you ran?
I'm on parole.
On what offense?
Sexual assault. Look, I was lying there on the sidewalk. He flags a cab and jumps in with the broad.
We're taking you in, Bates.
How come?
Just for a chat. Nice, private chat. I'll explain my theory of once a degenerate, always a degenerate.
Take him to Central. He's a material witness in a murder case. Find him a cozy cell.
Richard here knows the drill.
Let's go over across the street and call R&I.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need an APB out on a yellow cab, number 3591. Ask dispatch to relay all sightings to car 11K.
No problem. I'll get on the radio.
Were there any incident reports filed in the vicinity of Barron's Bar on North Beaudry Avenue? We're tracking a sailor who was involved in a fight outside the bar.
For this yellow cab.
I can check the reports, Detective. I have a message for you from Captain Donnelly. Message reads, James Jessup, U.S. Navy able seaman, has information relevant to your case. Jessup is currently being detained at Central Station.
Could be our man. Thanks for your help.
Car 11K, we have a response on your APB regarding yellow cab number 3591. The vehicle has been identified at a gas station. Now heading west on 7th Street.
Raw's on 7th Street. Let's hit it, Phelps. The cab driver might tie this whole thing together.
I hope you're right.
11K, yellow cab number 3591, sighted at the corner of Wilshire and Whitmer. Repeat, Wilshire and Whitmer, 11K.
Where's that cab got to now?
LAPD, we're investigating a murder.
What's that got to do with me?
The fare you picked up from Barron's Bar last night. What was the woman wearing?
A green dress. Oh, don't tell me something's happened to her.
Tell me about it.
She was with this sailor. He was all over her. She wasn't having any of it. Said she just wanted to dance. But he had that look in his eye.
Where did you drop them off?
It's at the Crystal Ballroom.
What time?
After midnight. 12:30? Something like that.
Thanks. You've been a big help.
Well, that's gonna ruin my day.
Now that we got to the yellow cab, let's go to Central Police Station. Wait, hold up. Let me see now. Ooh.
KTI is a member of...
Okay, I'll get out of the car. Got places to be.
He's in interview too.
Thanks. What do you make of him?
Sailor on furlough who looks like he's in trouble and knows it.
Detectives Phelps and Galloway. We know why you're here, Jessup, so it would be best if you answered our questions truthfully.
I don't want any trouble. That's why I'm here. I heard on the radio about this lady getting killed. I got leave from my CO to come down straight away.
So why did you kill her?
I didn't kill anyone. Look, you need to believe me.
Let's start at the beginning.
Let's ask him the last time he was with the victim.
You went to Barron's Bar. What time did you arrive?
I got a 24-hour pass. I got there around 7.
That's where you met Teresa Terrellson?
Sure. We had a couple of drinks.
And the way he says, sure, we had a couple of drinks, like you want to get that answer over and done with. And he's looking quite like how he was described. A man who looks like he's in trouble, and he knows it. I think he's being tight-lipped about what actually went on, because we know from Richard Bates that he socked him. He socked.
My CO is gonna kill me.
Okay, your CO is the least of your problems if you wind up in San Quentin. You know from Bates that this sailor socked him to get Teresa. So he knows a little bit more than what he's telling. So let's play bad cop.
So you tried to make a woman who was incredibly drunk?
Look, I'm not proud of myself, but I never hurt her.
You took her dancing?
That's right. Caught a cab to the Crystal Ballroom.
Let's ask him more about him socking Bates.
You had a fist fight with Richard Bates over Mrs. Terrellson.
You met the guy? He's a creep. You should take a look at him for this.
He's trying to put the heat onto someone else. Again, he looks like he's in trouble. So, we want to know what happened during the ride over. So let's play bad cop.
He's pointing the finger directly at you, Jessup.
I only had one night before I was back in the tub. He had all the time in the world to look for some action. I belted him. I'd do it again. She was better off with me.
Sure. You're a shining example of chivalry, Jessup.
Clockical. But let's ask him about what he was doing prior to Mrs. Terrellson's murder.
Where did you go after the Crystal Ballroom?
I think the wind had gone out of her sails by then. She caught a cab and I caught a bus back to the base.
What he says sounds true, but the way he's looking down at the table, down to the side, he's blinking a lot. I don't think he's telling us everything, so bad cop again.
We spoke to the cab driver. Tell us what really happened at the Crystal Ballroom.
I'd had enough. She was all upset about her husband bawling about her kids. She looked old. Left around closing, maybe 1:30. We got on a bus and she fell asleep on my shoulder.
Which bus?
An All-American 249. I went past her place. She jumped off and I stayed on it downtown. After that, I caught another bus to San Pedro. The Indiana's down there. She's being scrapped.
And that was the last you saw of Teresa?
Yeah, that's right. We didn't say much. I think she was kind of embarrassed.
Let's ask him more about this cab ride with Teresa Terrellson.
The cab driver said that you were getting pretty familiar with Teresa.
That's not how I'd put it.
And now he has this little smirk on his face. He's got a secret about what happened that he's not gonna say. So let's play bad cop.
So the last thing you wanted was her playing hard to get. Did that make you mad, sailor?
Yeah, it did. She knew what a guy's looking for. All broads do. Dancing comes second.
And what happened at the Crystal Ballroom?
Nothing. Not even a little hand relief. She had another couple of drinks. There was no fun left in her. Just poured her guts out to some bartender.
We're holding you till we can clear this with the driver.
Yeah, my CO said as much.
Can you put the guy in 2 in a cell and inform the commander?
Sure, Detective. Got a message for you. Sighting of your disfigured hobo on Grand between Temple and Sunset. And it looks like the Beau has a record, too. He's wanted in connection with 2 female assaults.
Thanks.
What now? Drive all the way to San Pedro and check his locker?
Let's see if the bus story checks out.
There's a depot at 1660 Beverly Boulevard.
Let's head to the bus depot.
3 suspects in the can and 1 on the hoof. And still no hard evidence on any of them.
KGPL to car 11K. 11K, come in.
11K, go ahead.
Patrolman reporting that Bobby Ross's car game is breaking up at midnight.
11K, roger that. Plenty of time to get downtown, Cole.
It's possible. Have them bring him in.
KGPL, could we have Lars Carrollson picked up?
11K, roger.
And we arrive at the bus depot.
And thank you, ma'am. You have a safe trip now. Where are you boys headed today?
LAPD. We're after the driver of All-American 249. Would have been around midnight onwards last night.
Just a minute. Frank Zeffirelli. He's your man.
Where can we find him?
Frank is out on the 7-4.
Can you tell us the route?
Hang on. I should have it mapped out here somewhere.
I'll need to run the loop.
We're not going to drive the whole thing, are we?
Won't take long. We have a siren.
We have the map. Let's go to the car and search for this bus. You run a huge track star. Oh my god, it never gets old for me.
All-American 7-4, let's go get him. This could be a long trip, Cole.
Or it could be a short one.
And here's me without my hip flask and only a pain in the ass for company.
Way to kick off the drive in high spirits, Rusty. Comments like that put me in just the right mood for some legwork.
Touchy.
You know what your problem is? You don't like hard work. This kind of rigorous search is what police work is all about. Discipline.
Save it, Phelps. You're just as bored as I am.
I'm just wondering, why couldn't we run this through, R&I again?
Nope, still no sign of him.
Did you doze off, Rusty? I think you slept through my solving the case.
Yeah, very funny. You just give me a nudge if you see him, all right?
How about you nudge me?
I think that's a job for your wife.
Oh, Rusty. How long is this bus route?
It actually covers an area around the size of Central Division.
The probability is we'll find it about halfway around.
Bad luck says we'll be chasing it all night. That's the bus we're looking for. Ease in behind her and get her to the side of the road.
There's some kind of problem, buddy?
LAPD, we're investigating a murder. You had a sailor and a woman in a green dress on your bus late last night?
That's correct.
And the woman got off first, around 2 a.m.?
Yeah, that's right. And the sailor stayed on all the way to downtown.
Can you tell us where you let the woman off?
On California Street. To tell you the truth, she looked a little lost, like she got off on the wrong stop or something. I didn't like dropping her off near that hobo camp.
You've been a big help, Mr. Zeffirelli.
So Sailor Boy escapes by the seat of his bell-bottom trousers. He left the broad alive.
Left her by the hobo camp.
Which means he's as good as killed her.
We can't eliminate any of them, but the disfigured man should be our starting point.
I'm gonna call for some backup. These bows hate cops.
Looks like the only place left is the homeless camp.
Investigate the hobo lead.
Well, if you think we ought to, then I guess we ought.
And we arrive at the camp. And he's walking in with a shotgun. Okay.
LAPD, we'd like a word with you.
Save it for someone who's interested. They're fascists. Come to move us on and steal what little we have left.
6 rounds won't get us far.
We need you to stay copacetic, fellas. We need to hold out till the cavalry arrives.
How do we do that?
Like this. Buckshot will keep you down, fellas.
You want your
Disciples know what you did last night?
Stinking bread.
What do you think, you're Joe Louis?
Hey, did Rusty get knocked out?
What's your name?
Comrade Stalin.
Very funny. We'll find out from your personal effects.
Stuart Ackerman.
You're under suspicion for murder, Ackerman. We're taking you downtown.
You can't do anything more to me than what the Japanese have already done.
The Kremlin's over here, Phelps. Toss it and see what you find.
Let's head into Ackerman's shack. And in front of us, we see a newspaper. This newspaper will tell us about what's going on in the world while Cole Phelps is solving cases.
Still working, Jack. I'm off to the Lighthouse Club in Santa Monica.
Hello, Jack.
Mr. Benson, this is Courtney Sheldon. He's a buddy of mine from the war.
Well, I'm sure you two will want to polish some old war stories. Good evening, Jack. Mr. Sheldon.
Good night, sir. Take a seat, Courtney.
We need your help, Jack.
I told you I would have nothing to do with that.
I'm fine too, Jack. Medical school's going well. I got a part-time job.
Do dope peddlers need part-time jobs?
We made a mistake and we're in trouble, Jack. A local gangster, Mickey Cohen, is putting on the squeeze.
So hand it over, walk away. What's stopping you?
We had a deal with them that they would dole it out slowly. They said they would supply abortion clinics and doctors, but they've been moving it on to addicts, and they can't cope with the purity.
So your problem is with gangsters being dishonest.
My problem is that people are dying, and that if this gets back to us, we'll all end up in jail.
So how am I supposed to help, Courtney? This isn't the war. I can't just wave a magic wand and clean up your mess.
We want you to negotiate, Jack.
The only thing these guys understand is force, Sheldon. They got to the top back east by proving to be more vicious than the English, the Irish, and the Dutch. They make their own laws. That's the nature of a secret society. God's sake, Courtney, you want to be a doctor. How can you fight with that?
We are better trained, Jack.
I didn't make it through the war to come back to this kind of shit, Sheldon.
Well, if you remember, it's been quite a while since we've seen a newspaper, but Courtney sold army surplus morphine to the Italian mob in LA. And he gave half of the surplus morphine to the mobsters, only for the mobsters to go behind his back and start selling it to anyone and everyone that could buy a piece. People started dying, and Mickey Cohen called Courtney for a meeting where he wanted Courtney to give him and the rest of the army surplus morphine. But while Mickey would not listen to Courtney, saying that Mickey's way was going to get even more people killed, Courtney walked away. And now the mob is coming after Courtney and whoever else he got to steal this morphine with. And now he's coming to his friend, Jack Kelso, to help him out of this pinch. Will Jack be able to help Courtney? Let's put the newspaper down and check the rest of Ackerman's shack.
This doesn't pertain to the case.
On this little table here, we find a picture. Ackerman said he fought in Japan during World War II, and this picture just confirms it. And then on the same table, there's a green clutch with the initials TT. Teresa Tarleton. And it has a little bit of blood on it. But let's investigate further.
Ackerman doesn't look like much of a dancer. Looks familiar. Safe bet it'll match the mark under Teresa Tarleton's chin.
Did Ackerman do this? Did he kill Teresa? We'll just have to interrogate him, and that means we gotta go back to Central.
The husband has an alibi, but no real motive other than neglect. Jessup's alibi checks out. Bates is a recidivist. He'll be pulling the same stick until we put him away for good. Ackerman has history, opportunity, hard evidence. What motive?
We have the evidence. We know she was here. All we need is a confession, and we can charge the bum with murder.
And we arrive at Central Station again.
We're going this way.
We'll walk into interview room 1 and interrogate Ackerman.
Ackerman, you were in the Marines.
How do you know?
The Corps selected big guys for flamethrower duty. That's how you got the burns.
Life expectancy was 5 minutes for a guy in flamethrower detail. What kind of a government puts weight like that on a man's shoulders?
You'll get no argument from me. It was a heavy load.
You feeling sorry for this smelly fuck?
Let's ask him why he would murder Teresa Tarleton.
Why did you kill Mrs. Tarleton?
I have no recollection of the people I have killed.
Are you denying that you strangled Mrs. Tarleton with a length of rope?
I'm not denying anything. You have to have proof, lackey.
And since Cole mentioned the rope, we'll use the rope piece that we found in Ackerman's shack to accuse him.
We found a matching piece of rope in your lean-to. I think we'll find the blood will match too.
I own no property. How could it belong to me?
Let's ask Mr. Ackerman why he took Teresa. Signal Hill.
A bus driver dropped Mrs. Terrellson near your camp around 2 a.m. Why did you take her up to the hill?
Which hill? I have many places. I go where I please.
We don't have any proof, but he's smirking. He thinks he's above this. We're just lackeys for a fascist government. And that he knows the right way. So let's play bad cop.
What are you staring at, boy?
You are clearly insane, Ackerman. The state of California does not execute mental patients.
I don't know the names of the women I've killed, but I've killed many of them. Their necks are so fragile.
And lastly, let's ask Ackerman about an alibi for last night.
Where were you around 2 a.m. last night?
At the camp.
But we found Teresa's coin purse in Ackerman's shack, so he couldn't have been at the camp the whole time.
You were up on the hill. You were seen during the day. We have a witness. We have evidence. Come clean with me, Ackerman, and I'll see what I can do for you.
I despise your pity. You have nothing that links me to this woman.
And we actually do. Teresa's coin purse.
We have you cold, Ackerman. Her purse and the ballroom ticket were in your lean-to. Tell us why you did it.
I kill because people need killing. It's what I was trained to do.
Stuart Ackerman, I am charging you with the murder of Teresa Terrellson.
A man down on his luck I can abide. But a filthy red who chooses to live outside the rules of society, I cannot stomach. Maybe poor Teresa Terrellson will provide the catalyst we need. I've spoken to the chief and the mayor, and I think it's time we send some men in to remove the godless and send them on their way over the county line. A grand day that will be, gentlemen. And a grand result you have brought me. You two are fast becoming my finest crusaders.
So did the captain just say they're going to remove the homeless people from the homeless camp? The case notes read, an early visit to the hobo camp might have offered a lead, but good luck finding a coherent witness. There's too many dots that just don't connect. And that rope that we found in Ackerman's shack looked to be cut from Mr. Terrellson's boat rope. It's not impossible to sneak into the homeless camp and then plant evidence in Ackerman's shack. What if Ackerman did attack Teresa but he didn't kill her? Maybe dazed and confused as Teresa was drunk after the attack, someone else came to her, offered her some help, and took advantage of this poor woman and mercilessly tortured and killed her. Ackerman doesn't have a car. He's homeless. He walks from place to place. We saw in the crime scene that there were tire marks to where Teresa was found, and shoe marks. Flamethrower duty were for big guys. I have yet to meet a tall man with a size 8 shoe. Ackerman clearly is mentally disturbed, and yes, he needs help for it. Probably he has trauma from the war that he needs to see somebody about. And we were told by R9 that he has assaulted other women. So this MO is not too far-fetched, but they said assaulted, not murdered. It would be nice to hear more details about these assaults. Like if he strangled them if he robbed them, things that could airtightly shut this case with Ackerman as the murderer. But again, when all our leads seem to be drying up and there's no clear person on who murdered a victim, our last stop is where we find all the critical evidence that we need to lock somebody away. And that leaves me thinking, why, if this murder was committed by the same person who has murdered Mrs. Maldonado, Mrs. Henry, Mrs. Moeller, why not frame her husband? A slam dunk case. They've been having fights. They were clearly not in a happy marriage. And Rusty loves dependent on the husband. Why not him? But there was no time that the house was empty. The night before, it was the sitter and Teresa's and Lars' 2 children. Then shortly after 12, Lars came back home and went to bed himself. She was murdered around 2. Teresa's house wouldn't have been empty. Then again, when Lars went out to retrieve his car from his friend's house, there were probably 2 children awake. What if this murderer wasn't Ackerman, it wasn't her husband? What if this murderer had met Teresa before, had stalked her, learned where her home was, or during the process of her murder, while he was viciously brutalizing her, made Teresa give them her address, and instead of immediately killing Teresa, they went to her house, grabbed the rope, and proceeded to strangle her with it. Or if this was a stalking then murder, what if this murderer already knew what house Teresa resided, went to her house, cut the rope to proceed to kidnap and kill Teresa? But these are all theories. A game theory, I'm joking. But these are all just possibilities. Maybe the murderer was Ackerman. We found the rope, we found the purse, but that still doesn't explain the tire marks. Carrying a woman up the hill would have brought some attention. Dragging her up the hill would definitely brought on some attention. And the blood that we saw on Teresa's chest, that there were cuts and scrapes, and we saw through the blood on her dress that she had more injuries underneath her clothing. So that means someone had to strip her, brutalize her, then put back on her dress. I can't see Ackerman doing this. Ackerman, who fought in World War II and was a flamethrower, I would imagine couldn't go through all that just to kill a woman. But that is it for me. Tell me if this case made sense, if Ackerman makes sense to you. Give me your theories about what happened during this case, what happened to Teresa Tarleton. Like Cole said, they keep locking men away, but the bodies keep piling higher and higher, and more letters are being sent. But I am Desi Fines, and it was so good to make this episode and release it to you guys. So much love and care and effort go into making these videos. I just want to let you know I'm truly grateful that you clicked on this video, you watched this video, you got to this point. I would like to just leave you with a few words. I hope during your day, whenever you're watching this, you are brought love, light, luck, and happiness. Because you being here, you watching this video, has brought me love, light, luck, and happiness. And I thank you so much. Please like and subscribe. There's more videos of LA Noire coming, and there's going to be some more games on the horizon. And if you like commentary on TV shows, music, this channel might be right for you. So this is me, this is Desi Fines, signing off. And I once again thank you. Bye!